Hey everyone, so updates have come and gone, and in today's video we're gonna be looking at things that were added in Bloxburg but never really had a function to them, meaning that they are in the game but they don't really work. So let's start with the video. Starting with the first one, and for that you have to go into skills, so clicking the little person at the bottom and actually going into skills. If you scroll down all the way you will see crafting and programming. So all of the other skills have a use. For example, cooking, you have to cook, gardening, you have to actually garden, but these two were in the game since 2016 and they still don't have a function to them, so people are still wondering when they will be added into the game. Crafting and programming, I think that was added in like a kind of excitement for Bloxburg and then never really got a function, so yet still we aren't able to level up crafting and programming. Then for the second one we will have to go to our car. For that one, someone turned on my faucet. I'm gonna have to turn that off. Made me realize that the bucket isn't centered. Oh well. Anyways, taking my car, driving into a bush as usual, typical me, and going to the gas station. As you can see, we can take out the nozzle, or how do you call that in English? Well, nozzle, I think. But yeah, we can take that out. We can act as if we're pumping gas, but we cannot actually pump gas into our cars. Our cars never run out of fuel. Now, we used to not even be able to pick up the nozzles right here. So this was just a static build. At least we can still take these out. It looks a little bit weird when you're running with them, but yeah, at least they have that function, but yet still we cannot get gas into our cars. And yeah, that's the only thing we can do with it, basically. So we can just stand around here, act as if we're getting fuel, but our car actually never runs out, so it's kind of a gimmick. Getting back into my car, going to another place on the Bloxburg map. It's so funny how in the city center we have like 1,000 benches, but there's only 75 players max in a server. Imagine if everyone was sitting on these benches. That would actually be quite funny. Now, anyways, going to number 3, and that is the grocery store. So some items in the grocery store, you cannot buy them. For example, this cheese right here, you cannot buy cheese in the grocery store. This is just a gimmick. You can buy Bloxy Cola, you can buy all of this, but cheese is not possible to buy. Okay, the water is possible to buy. I keep forgetting what you can and what you can't buy. However, with the Halloween update, something new was added, the Witch's Brew, and you could not buy that before, but now you can actually buy that, store that in your fridge and keep that forever. But the cheese still is not something that you can buy right now in the game. Moving on, we're going on a trip once again. Oh my god, that actually jump scared me. Like, wasn't there a person behind the pumpkin stand? I forgot. Gosh. Anyways, moving on. As you can see, I can still not drive a car properly, but anyways. Next up is the Observatory. So that one came with the map update, I want to say 2018, 2019, somewhere like that. We did get an observatory, but it is just an empty building. The only function it has is if you go behind it, you can actually sit on the benches right here, but other than that, there's nothing much that you can do in here. Like, it would be nice if you would be able to enter and actually look at the stars or something like that, but right now this building does not at all have a function and it is just sitting here being a building at the edge of a cliff. But again, it really does not have a function. I hope they add something to it in the future. I don't know why it was added in the first place and why there's so many parking spots. I was hoping like some kind of event to go on here, but nothing ever happened to it, so I don't feel like it will change. Doesn't have a function. Then next up, and I'm gonna insert an April Fool's Day video because we did have a school once with the April Fool's Day update this year. They added a very, very small school building where you had to complete a task and win a trophy for that. However, after April Fool's was over, the school was removed, people were angry, and we were thinking that the devs were hinting at a school update because the school is quite requested. A lot of people really want a school in Bloxburg, but the school was, if you entered the City Hall building in the city center, so this building right here, and you went to the right, you would actually see the school right here. Right now it is turned into a library, so at least it's something. There used to be nothing here, so if you entered the City Hall, it was just this room. You could not enter any other rooms, but the school was in here, and then they added a library to it. No, there is no secret room in the library. Many people say there is, but there isn't. But yeah, I was hoping that we got at least some sort of school after the April Fool's update because they definitely hinted that to us, even though it was a joke, but I get it. A lot of people want a school. Also, On a side note, I do want these round lights in build mode. I actually like them. For number 6, we have to go back home. And this is quite the frustrating one, to be honest. Well, not really frustrating. Oh my god. The turtle thing from one of my previous videos is still here. Help. Anyways, going into my house. This is quite the annoying one. I wish they would fix that. If you go into your kitchen, there is a Pro Chef stove, and that one comes with 2 stovetops and 2 ovens. However, you can only use this part of the oven. So this part of the oven is actually useless, which means that you can only cook one thing at once. If you want to cook 2 things at once, you actually need to place 2 separate ovens right next to each other, because this oven can only cook one thing at a time, and it is so annoying because I kind of like that stovetop, but for it to actually function, you would have to actually go back into your appliances and actually take out the Pro Chef stove, so not the double Pro Chef stove, this one, or XL stove, and actually place 2 of those right next to each other. So you would have to do something like this. I'm struggling hard here. Help. Yeah, you get the point anyways. So you'd have to place these right next to each other if you want to be able to cook 2 things at once. I might actually do that in the future, because right now this is kind of useless, especially if I want to get my cooking skill up, or if I want my friends to cook and we are all cooking at the same time. It is really annoying that we can only use 1 stovetop and 1 oven at a time. Then next up is one in build mode. Now, if you go into build mode, every single item, or at least most items, of course not the counters, most likely decorations. For example, this natural sculpture right here has an environment and a quality status with the little pluses added to it. Now, this has no function in the game whatsoever. So we have this environment, quality, comfort does have a function, that's the only one, and hygiene as well, before I start spouting lies. But yeah, we don't really have a function for quality and environment. It doesn't seem to affect anything. However, it has been in the game for a very long time now, yet still it doesn't seem to have a single function or a single use. So we can just basically ignore all of the quality marks and the environment marks, because they don't really affect anything. I wish they would affect something like moods or your happiness or something like that, but they really do not have any function in the game. So that's one other thing that was added without really having a function. And then moving on to the last one that I'm going to mention in this video. If there are any more that you know of, let me know in the comments down below. Definitely interested to find out more stuff that was added to Bloxburg without really having a function. But we're going to number 8 right now. And that brings me to the Styles Hair Studio. Now, I'm not going to talk about the ATM. The ATM kind of does have a function for the Game Pass and stuff like that. Yes, I would love to be able to have a bank system where you get interest on your money, but I am talking about actually going in here and actually changing your avatar just on this seat with the mirror in front of you. Like, yes, you can click on the closet, go into customize avatar, but this seat, I wish you could sit on it and actually get like a makeover from friends where they decorate you, or you can decorate yourself in the mirror, like a different type of style from where you enter your closet and pick an outfit there. And I know this is for a job function, but it would be amazing if you could sit in that, give your friends makeovers, give yourself a makeover, a different type of system than the closet. But this, I kept it at number 8 because it's quite a vague one and it's a pretty personal one, so I'm not going to talk about it too much anymore, but I think you get what I mean, and I would kind of love to have that in Bloxburg. Now, anyways, these are 8 things that were added to Bloxburg but never had a function to them. Again, if there's any more, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to find out more items that don't have a function. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.